Okay, so for question 5, I'm only going to address the syntheses for A and B. Alright. C involves some chemistry that we haven't covered. This is, again, a product of me putting these problem sets together a very long time ago. So, what we need to look at in A is, first we look at the hint. Consider the iodolactonization as a first disconnection step. So that's this step right here. And so what you need to do is the iodolactonization is covered in your book. I mentioned it briefly in class, but for a very fleeting second. So this is our starting material that we want to look at here. So what we want to look at is, what does the iodolactonization type reaction look like? So the iodolactonization reaction for this would be then we'll already have this on here. So how do we get to this intermediate? Well, I think hopefully that should be pretty straightforward, that the way you're going to get to that intermediate is taking your starting material right here, this is very analogous to the diethyl malonate type chemistry that we did, so we're going to add some sort of base to this. It could be sodium ethoxide, sodium hydride, and then we'll add benzyl bromide, so that'll give us phenyl, that's the same thing. Do it again. Do one, do a base. Some sort of electrophile that can undergo SN2 reaction to give us something that looks like this. Then we hydrolyze the ester. Give us this. We go iodolactonization to give us our final product. Okay. This right here is standard malonate chemistry. So what we're going to do is we want to generate a negative charge here, and then we want to react that with something that will eventually form this ring. So what are we going to add here? We're going to add something. So if we look at this carbon will end up being 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 this carbon, and then this carbon will eventually leave as CO2. So if that carbon corresponds to that carbon, we need to add 4 carbons that will eventually come together and form this 5-membered ring. Well, the easiest way to do that is to have something that looks like this. Add a base, undergoes SN2 reaction, add a base again, it'll undergo another SN2 reaction to eventually form this 5-membered ring, and then you hydrolyze that ester, decarboxylate, and that'll give you your final product, and that's covered in the answer key.